All these colleges were affiliated to different universities. In 1981, through a special act of parliament, the Cabinet of India passed a special resolution giving us the status of deemed to be university. So the three colleges, then colleges, and also the latest one at Nandagiri became Sri Satsa Institute of Higher Learning, 4 campuses. And the education model here was laid out very clearly by Swami himself, what he calls integral values-based education or values-based integral education, basically values-based integral education, also defined as a EduCare program. Now, what is this program? This program, we ensure that every student, when he or she joins us, by the time they pass out through these portals, there's an inner transformation in all of them. Now, what you call as an inner transformation basically means that they go out with all the academic tools that they need, the excellence, academic excellence that they need. At the same time, very grounded, matured human beings who know their responsibilities. What he calls as the students who graduate out, they have head of Adi Shankara, which basically means that knowledge leading to wisdom. They will have hands of Janaka, King Janaka. As we know that King Janaka was one of the most skilled kings India could ever think of. He came out with every possible skill that helped the society. So here basically it means that the students, they develop skills in such a way that they could straight away use in their daily lives and for the benefit of the society. And the third one, which is very, very important, students go out with heart of Buddha. That means compassion, empathy. Means you have your responsibility towards your family, to your society, towards your city, towards your country, towards the entire globe itself, creation itself. So the students go with heart of Buddha or compassion and empathy. So these are the three fundamental, pillars based on which this entire education model came up. Now, how do we implement this model? That's most important. See, people ask this question, all right, it all sounds very nice, but how do we implement it? I can assure you that we have successfully implemented this model for the last over 50 years since its very inception, where we cater to the intellectual dimensions of students, that is our academics, which we call secular education, which there's no compromise on what is required for the students in terms of standards or quality. Students have everything they can hope to have for learning, okay, academic education. Then we have 4 other dimensions over here, what we call the physical dimensions, which is that we focus on students' health, that is yoga, sports, and all these activities. Then we have what's called social dimensions, where the students are exposed to the living conditions of the surroundings and villages and various places. So they involve themselves in social activities. The other one is cultural dimension, where our own culture, what we call Bharatiyata, we have very rich culture. It is not confined by region or language or any of these things, because the students come up from all across the country and many of them overseas also. So we celebrate the culture of every region, every festival, every one of them. So students jointly enjoy doing this. So it brings in a very deep, oneness among the students. A student may be from Tamil Nadu, but you will find that he is very closely connected with a student from Northeast throughout the rest of their lives, because they mix with each other very, homogeneously with love and reverence for every one of those cultures. So that's a cultural dimension. And social dimension is, as I said, is more of social initiatives and service activities and things like that. And the final thing is what we call spiritual dimension. Now, spiritual dimension here does not mean that we, wear ochre robes and sit in a forest and meditate. No, it is not that. Spiritual dimension is such to ensure that every student, whom we fondly call as children over here, the faculty address them as children. We probably is the only institute where faculty calls students as children. Okay? Where we ensure that every student realizes his or her innate potential. That's what we call it as spiritual dimension. So they should go out with a deep clarity in their thinking, a very, very objective approach to the situations, the problems, so that they can take very informed and well-founded decisions. So that's what we call a spiritual dimension over here. Now, how do we ensure all these dimensions coming to students? How do they, make sure that, students get exposed to all of them? If you look at our very education model, we do not sacrifice on academic rigor or requirements. You find that the students, our courses are structured in such a way that it meets the latest requirements anybody can think of. And the course depths are much higher than many more other universities. We can very boldly say that. And the infrastructure that is required for these courses, there's no shortage for anybody, any student for that matter. So this is taken care on the intellectual dimension. We have experts coming from various institutions, industries, everybody, they come and interact with our students to bring them the latest ones. That is our academic front. We ensure that and then what do we do on the second one, that is physical side? Every student goes through certain training in yogic exercises, pranayamic exercises, sports. Make sure that everyone participates in all of them. So the physical health is sustained. That they don't have any health issues. At least even if they have it, they feel much better by the time they graduate out. So this way we ensure that physical fitness is ensured. So for this, what happens is our entire, if you see culture, the activities, the day starts at morning around 5 a.m. Starts with prayers, what we call, chanting of Omkaram and Suprabhatam and multi-religious prayers. So it lays a strong foundation. It calms down their minds. The very ambience calms down their minds. So makes them ready for one more day. And then immediately after prayers, they have yoga practice, sports. All of this is there. And then, of course, that's for an hour or hour and a half. Then they come back for very sumptuous breakfast and make sure that every student is provided a nutritionally balanced food so that their health is taken care. And then after that, they go to their academic rigor classrooms, and that goes on till evening 5:36, depending on the courses they do, sometimes even later in the night also. But they don't grumble. They are very happy to take up that because it's made very interesting for them. Then they again come back for evening prayers. Okay, we have bhajans, multi-religious prayers, all of that. So this calms down one's mind. Then, of course, they have dinner, study hours. Then before they go to bed, there's a prayer session again. So this is all made so natural to all of them. So it brings in all the dimensions what I talked about. Intellectual, physical, social, cultural and spiritual by practice. And we have enough faculty members also who stay on campus, always there with the students. Anytime they want, they are there to give them what you call mentorship. Every student has a mentored faculty as a mentor. So they can go and knock at their door at any point of time or call them up and then ask for any help they want, seek any solace from them. And we have a strong network with our own alumni. Like as I was saying a few minutes ago, even yesterday about almost 500 past students, alumni came to the women's campus. They interact. And it's on a weekly basis. We have every time they come here, they go to the classes depending on the course they have done here. They go and interact with those students and tell them, look, what they can do, what opportunities are there for them in future. Everything, the students are prepared continuously. And without students getting stressed at any point of time. We also ensure that as much as possible, no student loses an academic year. So it means that there is a rigor in academic calendar. At the same time, we ensure that our examination system, the results, and unfortunately, somewhere some re-examination is required. We conduct that also within a month of announcing the results. So, ensuring that we minimize on students losing an academic year. And the students who are in academics also handheld by the faculty members to ensure that they can cope with the rigors, because the academics are very rigorous over here. I'm sure I could request our, Dean of Student Academic Affairs to talk about it, the kind of programs and activities. Now, the placement part you asked me, I'm coming to that part. So, its placement part is like the training is so hard here, so well, so pragmatic, and so very skillful and deep rooted. We have industries, academic institutions, all of them coming back to us saying that we want more students from you. I can talk about it from my own personal experience, having graduated way back in 85. Okay. And then how we were received by the academic institutions and the real world. So the kind of training that we give, all the people know, you can, interview any of our employers anywhere in the world. You will find them telling without fail, there is a distinctive feature about students from this institution. That is, they are committed, they are dedicated, they put their heads down and work. And they take everybody along with them in a very natural way. So these are so that's why we are not typically worried about what we call placements. It happens. Okay. The alumni network is so strong. Nowadays, you have a lot of challenges in placements because of downturn in everything. But even then, we ensure that there is some alumni who they say, okay, sister, brother, don't worry, I'm there to help you. I'm there to take care of you. So that's the kind of confidence we give them before they pass out. We ensure that it happens. Be it placements or be it internships, be it any of those things. So even though we don't talk about it, it happens naturally. Yeah. For leaving. It's not for, it's for living, it's for life actually. What Swami says is that education is for life here, not just for living. Okay, let me correct myself. It's for life, not just for living. So if you even contemplate on the sentence saying that the purpose of education is for life, it means quite a, deeper significance and meaning over there than just for living. The living is what you asked me the question, no jobs and all those things. But we ensure we train them for life so that living happens naturally. And I also want to add to you one more point here, which is very, very important here, which, everybody should take home that point. The education model here, a child can join at the first standard, go out with a PhD without paying even a single penny. Okay, without paying any single penny. And the selection process is purely on merit basis. We do not confine ourselves to region or religion or any of those things. We have a very robust selection process. The students who make it through, they are lucky to make through and then be part of that. And there's no cash counters anywhere. They don't pay anything except the hostel fee. That's also very minimal. You can compare it with any other hostels in the world. You find that our hostel fee is a minimal. Even that, if the parents cannot afford, even that we reimburse it. So basically, and absolutely, there's no tuition fee, there's no fee of any kind except the boarding and lodging. That's why, if I can give you a number, we charge about 50,000 per annum. Okay, and then with almost 6 meals a day, starting from morning porridge, coffee to breakfast, lunch, evening snacks and tea, and night dinner, and also before they go to bed, they get warm milk and various things. So nobody can give such kind of thing, and parents who cannot afford that also we give them free of cost. So we don't charge that also. So it's a totally free education model. Similarly, he wanted health and education. He wants it to be free to everybody. So we are only looking at, now we have existed for more than 50 years, a very successful model of this kind. And he always said, Baba said, if I can do, anybody else in the world can do this. There are enough people in the world who can spend this kind of money to ensure education is free for everybody and health also. So as he said that my life is my message or example, this is exactly what it is. So we live for that. Yeah. You could ask me, see, that question is, of course, a lot of people do ask me this question, how is it possible? Okay. Yeah, that's a real, serious question. See, there are any number of people in the world who believe in this model. Okay, they contribute in their own small ways, donations, which comes to the trust. And you don't find any cash box or hundi anywhere over there. They go to their banks, transfer whatever they want quietly, and that money helps us. Okay, that's how we run that. So the world still has a lot of good people who want to, be part of this journey of Baba's mission. That's how we run it. Yeah. See, my advice: you study for the sake of learning and life. Okay. Failures and success are part of the story. Again, they are very relative because getting a 5-10 marks difference is not going to make a life or break a life. There's always an opportunity for everybody if they look around for them to be in and to grow. So failure is not an issue at all. So if you are good in your studies, if you just focus on what you want to do, okay, and excel yourself. I'm not bringing marks into picture because marks seem to be bringing in a lot of rat race. I don't want to bring that in. Learn for the sake of understanding, learn for the sake of knowing the subject, learn for the sake of so that you can contribute more in that domain. Then you find that your placements, everything fall in line on its own. You don't need to seek placement, the placements come to you. Okay. So that's what I do not get disheartened by variation in your marks. Okay. That's not going to make any difference in any of your careers or lives. Because the natural intelligence which you have, you believe in that, you nurture that, and you find that success is a natural story of that. That's what I would like to say that. And I request the parents also enable every child to decide for himself or herself. Enable means again give the children what they need to decide for themselves than forcing our views on them. Because I'm sure that some parents might come back and say, my son or daughter is not able to make a decision. There are enough ways to make sure that the student will be able to take his or her own decision. Once they take their own decision, then you find that they are much more responsible, they are much more productive. The growth is but natural over there. When we try to force fit anything on them, on the children, the problem comes over there. The children get stressed out, they don't like it, and they have a problem. They want to respect the parents' views. So all of this, unnecessary stresses that builds into the students, and that's exactly what we should avoid. So that's mine. See, we are looking at what's called ethical AI. Okay, AI is a tool. If you use it in the best possible way, it can help you grow. If you misuse AI, first and foremost is that your own thinking process will not evolve. That's the greatest disaster you see there. But if you use AI optimally, which further helps you in your academics or anything that you're doing, then it's like, a surgeon having a knife, surgical tool. Ultimately, it depends on the surgeon as how he or she wants to operate on the patient. AI is like a tool in the hands of a surgeon. The surgeon can save the patient or kill the patient. Okay. So here we are trying to bring in AI at all levels. We have that as a part of our curriculum, what we call ethical AI. You make your best use of the AI. We cannot shun the AI. It has to be there. So we have ensured that students are given enough courses to learn all about AI and how to make best use of it. In all courses, like we have not secluded AI, for example, even MA English or BA English, there also we have that. Even Sanskrit we have that. Okay. So every program has AI inbuilt in it. So as and also we use the latest pedagogies in our academics. So make sure that students are responsibly AI users eventually. So we are not worried about what we call the misuse or disaster from AI. Yeah. But we tell them, look, the natural intelligence which you are bestowed with is something that you should go ensure that you maintain that. Don't let AI to take over your natural intelligence. At the moment you become slave of AI, then your own natural intelligence is off. So use your natural intelligence to use this tool called AI for a better purpose. That's the way we educate the students over here. So that, I mean, that's the need of the hour now. So see, our entire, we call what is called a living example over here. Okay, we leave what we call, values based integral education model over here. Okay, we leave the human values over here. How do we do that? Discipline is our first language or medium of instruction. Okay, discipline is the medium of instruction. You can see our students are all quite very well disciplined. And then the more than the classrooms, the way they live together in the hostels, the learning happens over there for them. The learning actually happens in hostels. It's more like a community living. Means we have rooms where 10 to 12 students stay together. The students is across the country. Not that we region them out like saying only Tamil Nadu students will be in one room or Kannada students will be in one room, Northeast will be. No. We ensure that we mix the students from all regions in each room and across all the classes. Okay. So there is what is called brotherhood starts from the room itself. Okay. They know how to live with each other, how to handle each other, how to learn from each other. Okay. The learning starts in the hostels. Okay. And the hostel curriculum itself, as I told you earlier, the day starts at morning at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. it starts with, what we call Suprabhatam prayers, Omkaram and Suprabhatam, and multi-religious, all religious prayers. Those who want to do anything else, they can also do that, whatever they are interested in. For example, if somebody wants to practice namaz, they are free to do so. Okay, we enable that also. In the sense, we don't restrict any of those things. And anybody wants to have any other prayers, they can do that. It's no restrictions whatsoever. Then afterwards, a compulsory, yoga and sports session is there. Okay, the compulsory yoga and sports session is to ensure that students are healthy. Okay, and after the sports and yoga sessions, then they come back to the rooms and freshen up themselves, and a very good, healthy, balanced breakfast is given to every student to make sure that caloric values are met, whatever they need, because the youngsters require a lot more, calories or energy. So we ensure that they get all those, food requirements are met, and ensure that even the food is chosen in such a way that, they like it. It's purely vegetarian food. Again, there's no non-vegetarian over here, only purely vegetarian food. But, it balances from different regions. We choose sometimes, the students from Kerala take over the kitchen. So you will find that a week or 10 days you have, Malayali cuisine. So similarly like that, a lot of experiments do happen over there to ensure that students are happy with the food, because students do require good food. So we ensure that it happens. Then, of course, the college starts with a prayer. Morning 8:30, 8:45, they assemble at campus. And there's a 15 minutes prayer, or what we call moral classes. See, the moral class is again to meet what is called, the moral class is not just a preaching class. No, it is not that. Moral class is such that we get eminent scholars to talk about multiple aspects. It's not necessarily religion. It's about everything. Okay. It's about everything in life where you need to think a little more, little deeper, how to think. The intellectual dimension is added in every moral class. It's not forced onto any student. It sort of to kindle their curiosity or intellectual, capabilities. That's how the moral classes happen here. And then we also teach students. See, the Bharatiyata is integral to us. Bharatiyata in the sense in multiple ways. One is our own knowledge system, Indian knowledge system. If you find that all the students learn Vedic hymns. Okay. And the Vedic hymns here is learned in such a way, students are taught the purpose or deeper significance of this learning, this chanting. Because it's a very well recorded, very well studied system that Indian Vedic hymns are very structured. Okay. Highly intonated. It has a specific intonation. While chanting that, it stimulates certain neurons in your brain, and which has a very positive effect. I mean, there are any number of studies, both international levels and national level, any number of studies are done on this Vedic, chanting and chanting of Gayatri Mantra, all of that actually. So this, students are taught all of that along with the academics, and academic classes also in such a way that it's more of an experiential learning. It is not boring, whiteboard or blackboard, this fun. No, it's an experiential learning. It's an hands-on training for students. See, I'm sure every faculty member can talk about their pedagogies, what they use, so that the students learn hands-on or experiential learning. Okay, that classes are there till about 4 o'clock in the evening. And of course, those who have want to do additional studies, they can do that. There's a lot of mentorship that happens if they want to do. Otherwise, students go and play. We ensure that, at least 4 days in a week they go and play, so that when they are in open, you can see when you look up through this window over here, you see the playgrounds what we have for students, and also an indoor stadium. So everything that is required for a physical wellness is ensured. It's over here. Then evening again we have a bhajan session, prayer session, where community singing, everybody sings, and you find that when that happens, it's so very positive effect it has on everybody. It's sort of whatever the stresses they have, whatever the little emotional upsets they have, whatever pressures they are going through, they all evaporate. Okay, the students get refreshed. After that, then they have a very nice dinner session, and then the study hours, compulsory study hours. So where we ensure that every student is confined to his or her desk, and there are enough faculty members to help them out. So till about 9:30, 9:45, compulsory studies sessions are there, so that to make sure that they don't lag in the courses, because every academic session is very rigorous. If they miss one, they'll not be able to catch up with the other sessions. So that's why we ensure that they all study. And then also before they sleep, we give them hot milk or Bonvita, whatever it is, and then to ensure that their nutritional requirements are taken care. Before they sleep, they have a prayer again, basically offering the days, all they have done to the God. And it's the God who is guiding everybody. You could call God, you can call it anybody. You can call it Allah, Christ, or anybody, or Rama, Krishna, Sita, my Shiva, anybody for that matter. They offer it to their own gods. Okay, whatever it is. That's the way we end the day. And if some students want to study beyond that, they do study. We let that also happen, so that in case they want to catch up. So this is our routine. And here the faculty play a very critical role, because the faculties are the living examples of those values. The students learn from the faculties over here. Okay, you find that every faculty member is a role model. They're able to impress some students. Okay, so they live the values what we tell the students. So that way the entire system, works on a living example. It's not just, we order students to do, others don't do it. It's not so. So that's how we ensure that this, values-based education model, integral model, we, embed in our system over here. And what we call it as educare, or inner transformation, or the student realizing his or her full potential. That's the education model over here. Our women's campus do play a band, welcome band to the president. And these girls played it so beautifully well. The president went out of the protocol, stood with them for a group photo. And immediately after that, we had several requests from the police, various departments to train their own bands from our girls, to train those. That's to train us, yeah. So that's the level of our, the band perfection, what I would say, brass band perfection. The president went out of the protocol, security protocol. In fact, they were asking me, why did you not tell she is going to go for a group photo? I said, I don't know that. I didn't expect that. She did that. Okay, so that's what it is. Sorry. Please go ahead, yeah. Sairam. I can say that I'm a very, very proud alumnus of this institution, this great institution, which laid the foundation for my very success in career, what you call, or life. I graduated out in 1985, probably one of the very first batches of this institution. I did my post-graduation, undergraduation plus post-graduation over here. And then I joined the University of Science, Bangalore. Spent quite a few years over there. Then moved on for globe-trotting, typically what any young researchers, academicians do. And eventually came back and settled down in University of Astrophysics, Bangalore. But somewhere or other, I always felt that when I passed out, it was very clear to me that as our founder chancellor always wanted us, to have head of Adi Shankara and hands of King Janaka and heart of Lord Buddha, Gautam Buddha, is what we should be made of. And as I went around the globe, as I went around the country in various capacities in different institutions, I found that this institution ensured that we are that. And then eventually I just wanted to come back here in some capacity to serve my alma mater. But at the end of the day, I think the greatest thing we can contribute to our own alma mater is serve it, like any of my colleagues. So he finally blessed me with the opportunity to come back here to offer my token of gratitude to my alma mater. And I'm very, very grateful to him for that opportunity that he has blessed on me. Thank you.